I don't know how much more of this I can take. I'm just kidding. This is absolutely great. Welcome back, old friends or newcomers. Welcome for the first time. It doesn't matter. We're all here now, aren't we? Keep in mind, this week I did drop that Chainsaw Man review of episode 1. In case you didn't see it, that is up now, so go check that out. As always, feel free to join the Discord, link in the description down below. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Real quick, everybody, I do have an announcement this week. As you know, I opened up a Patreon, and last week I got my very first patron ever, Maxim Volkow. I'm pretty sure I messed that up. I just want to give a shout out and a huge thank you to Maxim Volkow. And let's be honest, isn't that just about the coolest fucking name ever? I'd love to meet like another YouTuber in real life and be like, what was your first patron's name? And they'll be like, Stanley. And I'll be like, mine was Maxim Volkow. Anyway, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Thanks, Maxim. Anyway, let's not waste any time. We start right off with Caiman still having nightmares and Ibisu's being fixed up by Noi. And now her face is all fixed up, but it's going to take a little while for her mind to clear. But now back in the hole, we move right on to the Night of the Living Dead. And we get this like kind of quasi explanation about what's happening with a buildup of smoke left behind from the sorcerers, and it collects in the atmosphere, and then one night a year, the dead come back to life. Why is it only one night a year? I don't know. Does it really explain what's happening? Not really, but you know, it's okay. It's all in good fun, really. And as usual, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is that we're having a good time. And guess what? We really are right here. And now they're going to go after the lizard man. And even Shin's going to stop him and go, why don't we just wait? Because here in a minute, Ibisu's going to remember everything anyway, right? And remember that one. Just going to file that one away for, you know, like 3 pages from now. But Caiman and Nikaido are doing a bit of shopping and a little bit of killing when they run right into Shin and Noi's gang. And I'm officially excited at this point. And I know it's the beginning of Volume 2 and absolutely nothing's going to happen, but I can't help but be excited. We're officially at the first meeting of our 2 main groups. And this, I mean, it's got to be good, right? And goddamn is Shin drawing his one mean motherfucker sometimes. And damn it if the next page isn't a zombie just casually chewing on Ibisu's head. Remember I said keep that in mind like 2 pages ago? Yep, here we go. And at the same time, I can't help but laugh. They barely turn to look at Caiman, and it's just like, oh my god, Ibisu's being eaten. Should've listened to Shin. That's all I'm saying. Should've listened to Shin. And then we just go switching straight to Caiman doing the happy dance because he realizes these people are sorcerers, and he gets to kill them. And holy shit does this fight deliver. I mean, wow. And first off, Caiman takes on Shin, and he's just like, ooh, magic doesn't hurt me. And I'm just like, I bet you hammers do, motherfucker. And then the girls are going to face off, and oh my god, Noi is massive. But Nikaido is insane. I mean, wow. I know I said in the last one, the action was really good in this, and here we go. I mean, this is it. And when Noi stops Nikaido with a kick to the gut, you feel it. But then Caiman gets Shin's head in his mouth, and he says that you aren't the one. And turn one page, and Shin pulls his whole head back out and rips Caiman's entire fucking head off. So I guess that just happened. And then suddenly, which actually was kind of like the biggest surprise that caught me way off guard, Nikaido bites the tip of her finger, snatches all of Caiman's, you know, head and his body up, summons up a door and jumps through it, revealing that she's a sorcerer. Not gonna lie, I did not see that one coming. And turn the page, and to nobody's surprise, Caiman's completely grown his head back. Consequences, schmonsequences. I mean, there are just no consequences in this manga, at least not yet. There might eventually be, I don't know. And to be clear, this isn't a criticism, it's just an observation. But we do get a little scene of Nikaido worrying about what would happen if Caiman realized that she was a sorcerer. So that's going to add some tension and some stakes to the fact that she's a sorcerer and the fact that she's now keeping this a secret from him. I guess she's always been keeping it a secret from him, but now we're in on the secret, I guess. move forward a little bit, and Caiman's going to continue to have some nightmares, but now we're going to go to his doctor buddy, and we're going to take his head, his other head, the one that came off, was ripped off, not the new one that grew back, and we're going to go to the doctor buddy, and we're going to have some tests run on it, and we're going to try and find the man inside the head, like it's not going to be there. You know it's not going to... Are you guys idiots? But it's okay. We're still rolling with it. And right when we start to work on it, the power goes out and the head disappears. Oh, no! But back in the sorcerer's world, Noi is reading up on, I don't know, zombie resurrection? Please hurry, Ibisu is rotting. Meanwhile, En and Shin go and find a man named Turkey, who can create dolls with souls, which are essentially recreations of a person, and then that recreation can locate the original, which is how they plan to locate the sorcerer who did whatever he did to Caiman, because Shin saw him. But first, Turkey offers to demonstrate how it's done. And oh my God, we end up with this. And I'm pretty sure that Q Hayashida is very well aware of what she's doing here. I mean, she's just playing with you at this point. And your emotions. Anyway, the real Noi's gonna show up, and she fixed Ibisu. But she talks to herself now, and her neck's a little floppy. But anyway, they're gonna make a doll of the guy inside of Caiman's mouth, and he's gonna lead him to a house. And inside this house, Ibisu's gonna find a box. And as soon as Ibisu finds that box, it angers the doll. In which case, this happens. And can poor Ibisu just get a break, please? Between having her face ripped off, being turned into a zombie, and having her intestines eaten, the poor girl's having a real rough week. Honestly, though, this is a very strange point to stop and talk about Ibisu, and a very strange thing to say about Ibisu, but I think at this point, she's probably my favorite character in the entire manga. Just because every second that she's on the page, I am generally laughing, or at least have the biggest shit-eating grin, because I can't look at any situation that she's in without laughing. Her presence on the page brings me more joy than anything else in this entire manga. Maybe that makes me a bad person. I don't care. And I really wouldn't be surprised to learn in the end that she was actually extremely important this whole time, and we just kept letting her get fucked up. That might evolve into a prediction. We'll see. But we take out the doll, and we get the box, and we look at the box, and inside the box is a head. So there's that. Meanwhile, inside the hole, Caiman can't find Nikaido because Nikaido is off boxing trying to get money. And to be honest, this is the first chapter that kind of felt a little bit like fluff or filler. Not really. I don't mean it that way. It felt like it was more suited to be like just an extra evil at the end of a book, but it's actually a legitimate chapter, which didn't feel, as far as chapters are concerned, it felt very unnecessary. It's not that it was a bad chapter. It just felt more like an extra evil than a legitimate chapter. That's all. Now, En, Shin, Noi, and Ibisu are off to find a resurrector. And this resurrector, or this woman, is to be En's partner moving forward. And to do this, find this person, we're going to need to go to another party. These sorcerers really do throw a lot of parties, don't they? But when we get there, we find out that all the sorcerers there are taking smoke-enhancing drugs like a bunch of fucking junkies. Like legit. They literally look like a bunch of junkies. And to En, this is completely unacceptable. Like, to the point where when he finds this woman that he's looking for, the resurrector, and he finds out that she's strung out on the smoke-enhancing drugs, he'd rather kill her than work with her. I mean, this was to be his partner. No, he'd rather her just be dead. These are the standards that En holds. I mean, in the last one, he was ready to kill his henchman over carrying a gun. In this one, you take drugs, you die. For being the bad guy, or the bad guy in this manga, he's got some pretty strict moral standards that he lives by. But as En and the gang are going to theorize about who this possible sorcerer Nikaido could be, we're going to flash over to the hole and we're going to see Caiman and Nikaido are going to go to a mansion, a haunted mansion, essentially, and look for a scientist who does experiments on the corpses of sorcerers. Some of the sentences that have to come out of my mouth in order to do this are completely insane. I worry about the person who wrote this. But don't worry, it only gets worse from here. The house itself appears to be haunted, but it's really just filled with smoke from all of the experiments, and the smoke does weird things to the house, and it made it into like a maze, and it changes and warps and shit. But they find the doctor, and he, explains what's going on in the house to him, and he shows him that he's built a door from the skin of the sorcerers that he has experimented on. This is what I'm talking about. But, what was I saying? Oh, and this door now is a doorway to the sorcerer's world. So we can actually go there and back and forth without needing a sorcerer. Which essentially is completely and utterly unnecessary because Nikaido can summon a door whenever the hell she wants because she is a sorcerer. We can't let Caiman know that we can do that because that's our secret. But I'm just saying, essentially this door is kind of pointless. At least it would be if she would just man up and tell Caiman her secret. And I'm sure he'd understand. But anyway, Caiman and Nikaido are going to enter the sorcerer's world. And now when we get there, everybody's looking for them. So they have to don disguises. And by disguises, I mean bunny suits. At least Caiman's going to put on a bunny suit. Nikaido's going to put on a string bikini and a motorcycle mask with bunny ears. I swear this manga's trolling weebs. And now we book a flight on a magic carpet ride with handlebars. Meanwhile, Fujita is being bullied by a bunch of his acquaintances, as far as I can tell, people he knows, when suddenly Noi and Shin show up and just chop them in half. I mean, with their bare hands. And Caiman, while they're flying, decides to stick the guy's head in his mouth to see if he's the one, and he's not, so he's going to kill him. But then they fall out of the air because he just killed the pilot of the magic flying carpet. Like an idiot. Now, at this point, we're going to follow both groups at the same time, essentially trying to solve the exact same mystery from two different angles. That mystery being who the sorcerer is that did this to Caiman. I mean, to the point where they're going to be like walking around the exact same house, like on different sides of it. Like, it's completely ridiculous. And they're both going to come to pretty much the conclusion that the cross-eyed gang is responsible in some way, shape, or form, or at least has something to do with it. Nikaido gets a lead at a bar, and En's group reanimates the head, but instead of regenerating his entire body, which I think they can do, I'm pretty sure they can do, they just build him a robot body instead. Now, at this point, Nikaido's going to suggest, she just got that tip, by the way, but at this point, Nikaido's going to suggest that her and Caiman split up, and Caiman's essentially going to spend the rest of the book wandering around like an idiot, doing literally nothing. And on the other hand, Nikaido's going to do some stuff now. First, she's going to get some information by going off to sell her smoke on the black market, but then she's immediately going to kill the guy because she can't have any trace of her smoke on the black market. Then she's going to go see a devil who's going to tell her that the cross-eyed gang have very little magic and are mostly harmless, which is pretty much corroborated when we see the head that was regenerated and in the robot body because he's basically just a big pussy begging for his life. You know, pretty much not what I was expecting to see out of him, at least. Although I'm not surprised when you do get that from him either. And the devil then says, you know, you could just figure this out all by yourself if you just used your magic, right? To which she says, I'll never use magic again. Okay, so at this point, my interest is completely piqued. Why will she never use magic again? Why does she so adamantly refuse to use it? What is so special about her magic or her smoke that she can't risk it being left behind or anybody ever finding it? Why does she live in the hole? The mysteries just keep building, and I'm really loving it. I'm finding myself more and more and more invested in the layers of mysteries that are building as we go. It's extremely engaging, and I love it. Also, the further that we go in this, I started out reading this, seeing Caiman and Nikaido as the good guys and En's group as the bad guys. And the further this goes on, I know that the two groups are technically at odds, but the further you get into it, it feels more like not the good guys and the bad guys. It just feels more like two groups that we happen to be following simultaneously that just are at odds with each other. But anyway, the devil opens up a door to En's mansion and says, "This is the least I can do." Also that, why is this the least that he can do? Why do devils owe her favors? I will have my answers, damn it. But anyway, now Nikaido's in En's mansion, and holy shit. I mean, goddamn. And Noi and Nikaido get a rematch, and damn is it good. I have a feeling these two are going to go at each other many times, and every time this happens, I'm going to be a very happy person. And also, real quick, Risu sees another head of Cross Eyes guys, and he says, "Whatever you do, don't tell him about him." So who's him? Maybe the him is the him we're looking for. Or not. I don't know. But who's him? But at this point, Nikaido is going to see the cross-eyed guy with the robot body from across a, I don't know, courtyard or something, and do the most ridiculous flying jump you've ever seen from one section of the building to the next, which is awesome, and I love it. I mean, just the sheer imagery on display here is jaw-dropping, and you just, once again, it's one of those things that you feel it as it's like you see her outside the window, you're like, oh my God, it's so good. But anyway, she comes in through the window just to come face to face with En and deck him in the face, which he then chokes and coughs and either coughs out or vomits up or something. A huge amount of smoke infecting everybody in the room and basically turning literally everyone inside into mushrooms. Except for Noi. Luckily, she just got her ass kicked by Nikaido over on the other side of the building, so she wasn't there, which is lucky for everybody because she's the healer and now she can heal everybody's mushrooms. Except for Nikaido, who only got hit in the back, and now she just got some shit growing out of her back, and Caiman's gonna cut that off for her, so she'll be all good to go next time around too, because consequences. But when Noi gets there, she is going to heal everybody, but she definitely looks like she's a little bit more concerned for Shin than anyone else there. I'm getting some real vibes coming off of Shin and Big Mommy Noi here. Huh? But anyway, like I said, Nikaido gets the big mushroom cut off of her back by Caiman, and everybody's all good. The end! Cutting it off here. Books 2 and 3. Boom. Anyway, I'm going to go with an 8.5 on this one, I think. Not that anything wrong with it. I think the last one just got a 9 from me because it came out of the gate and I was not prepared for this. I think I've just settled in to what this is now. Even though I think this book got the hardest laugh out of me. Which one is it? Book 2. Was it book 2? Whichever book had the Ibisu has a floppy neck joke, I think that was the hardest laugh I've had, period. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call this an 8.5. Yeah, that seems fair. And once again, just a reminder to anybody, I did recently open up a Patreon just in case you would like to go there and support me and this channel and what I do. The link is in the description down below. And as always, everybody, thank you, and I will see you next time.